Well, Selma is the first film to be made with Dr. King at the center, released by studios and in theaters. So the fact that 50 years has passed since these events and no one's done it is a little troubling, but it also gave us a lot of leeway to delve into the story in our own way, not be beholden to the ways people had done things before, and really be clear that we wanted to show him not as a statue or a speech, but as a man.
In the 60s, at that time, even though Selma had a population of over 50%, only under 2% of them were actually registered to vote.
It's the people who make change. It's not the politicians. These people rose up. They resisted, they marched, they protested until they got what they wanted. They bled for these rights for us all to be able to vote.
Dr. King and SCLC found this to be the case and decided to go and amplify this injustice, bring attention to it, and that's what spurred the Selma campaign.
Actually looking at Dr. King and Ralph Abernathy and C.T. Vivian as sort of like as badasses, because it was badass what they were doing. They weren't just, these people just, saying these great speeches, but they were human beings, with, with needs and wants and wishes, and they weren't perfect people.
I think Dr. King's conviction, his personality, and his beauty, really. Those are things I hugely admire. I share his faith in terms of being a Christian myself, and anyone who's a person of faith can talk about that, but to actually do it is different.
He looked so different, he sounded so different, he felt different just energetically in the room. I mean, he's my friend, and he's like a posh British guy, and all of a sudden he was kind of like this, pudgy Southern reverend, and he really did it. I mean, he's an extraordinary talent.
The actual really tough thing was the spiritual work that had to take place. When he's giving those speeches, you can see that he's taken up with something beyond himself, and to try and sort of just put myself in that headspace was, I think, the biggest challenge.
The smartest thing, I think, what Ava did, she was like, I'm not interested in, it can't be just all this perfection of holding people up to their icon status. That doesn't connect to people right here. I think it connects to the average moviegoer as well. So we see them as human beings, and we see them as complex individuals. And so I think there is a bit of pressure because we're, these extraordinary human beings, you know what I mean? I mean, really, but we were so researched up and detailed about this and just trying to get it right.
I would just say it's more than you think. Sometimes these historical dramas, they kind of feel dry, they kind of feel like medicine or spinach. I mean, this one we really tried to make it the anti-historical doc.
Even though it's set 50 years ago, vibrantly speaks to the time we're in today. You may think you know who Dr. King is or was, but I almost guarantee that there will be revelatory things upon seeing this film.
It's a perfect, imperfect film.